Yeah, television is one of the biggest changes that happened in the 90s. Historians would pin it down to the 80s, but in reality, television became big. That a middle class was able to afford television and became a household thing only in the 90s. And there's a lot of transition in television within these 10 years. In India, it starts with the mythological series on Doordarshan. I don't exactly know what years were they. Ramayan and then Mahabharat, which I think had a deep impact on the psyche, especially of children. Like I know my Mahabharat inside out, courtesy the serial. You can ask me questions. So it was, and people would gather together for community viewing in people's houses, even though they had their own televisions. Neighbors would gather together with snacks, and some people were reported even to be praying to the television for Ramayana and so on.
Indeed.
And then suddenly, 3 years later, in 1994, I distinctly remember that Zee TV came. And it was called Z, like Xerox is photocopy, and like so many things become metaphors of what
Hmm.
they are an example of. So Zee TV became cable TV. It was not known
Hmm.
as TV, but rather than as Zee TV, with instead of the static or the machar dance as we used to call it on Doordarshan, now there used to be a yellow leopard-like thing, which would unveil itself at 2 p.m. and there would be music and there would be a lot of countdown shows. Phillips top 10 and this top 10, that top 10.
Exactly.
So suddenly in 1994, that trend, the mythology series sort of now started waning away to give a sudden explosion of Bollywood music, also other kinds of music, which let's come to in a minute because let's treat music slightly separately. But a lot of music, a lot of movies. Earlier, people would wait for Saturday and Sunday on Doordarshan for movies, and now you
Hmm.
have movies every day,
Hmm.
cable television, and all these music channels, music, MTV, V, and so on, and lots of more news broadcasts, lots more cultural shows. So suddenly, now the parents were worried about television addiction and also video game addiction. Video games also came around this time, 94, 95, with those consoles, and there would be video game parlors where you would give 1 rupee and play a game and so on. So suddenly there was a lot of addictive material, so to say. So the beginning of addiction is in the mid 90s in many ways.